welcome back to the weekly Slime Fun update with your host Boomer. We have so much to cover today. It is amazing just how many new items and updates have come out this week. Let's get started. First, we're going to start with SlimeTinker. Now, the people that I play with on the server know I generally have not really dived deep into Tinker. The bases I built for the most part, I'm building for production of Slime Fun items. I'm not a PvPer. So I have not gotten a whole lot into it. At some point, I would love to. Right now, I'm mostly base building, but there's some really new cool items I want to talk about inside of SlimeTinker, especially for those of you who do PvP a lot. There are some new molten liquids, and we're going to talk about those here real quick. All right, so we have the molten interdimensional presence. We have molten Romotinium and molten ultimaninium. Wow, I tell you, those are tongue twisters, especially since I'm still recovering from my surgery. It's double the challenge for me right now. Really cool. They are tied in with networks. So you must have the most recent version of networks in order to get these new traits. There's also the material trait for armor links called Feeling Connected. So this allows you to connect to your network. And the only thing you got to do is have the chunk loaded. Pretty awesome. So check those out, look into them a little bit more. So those are specifically tied to networks. In addition, Sephi and Alessio from Transcendence have worked to add the Daxies into SlimeTinker. So let's take a quick look at these. We have 5 new traits. One is the power of Daxie. Has a chance on hit to unleash the power of the strength Daxie for 100% additional damage. Wow. Now, as you know, Daxies are not easy to create. They're very time consuming, very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing handling unstable ingots. So clearly, it's going to take a lot to get there. Now, with these, you are going to get 81 units out of each Daxie. Same thing here if I want to load up the F. So we've got Absorption, Fortitude. I'm trying to remember the other two Unite ones. Let's take a look at them real quick here. So you've got 4 Unite ones. You've got Regeneration, Saturation, Fortitude, and Absorption. So Absorption, when all 4 defensive Daxies unite, you'll be granted the power to retain your Daxies through your death. So throw one of each of these on your armor pieces. So they're all pretty much the same. You've got the specific trait, but put one on each armor piece. And therefore, you've got all 4. And then again, the power of Daxie, put this on your tool head. Man, you're going to be hard to beat. You're going to be kicking some butt. Even though I don't PvP, I can appreciate just how powerful these things are because I know what it takes just to get to the point of crafting them. Now, additionally in Tinker, and I love what this did, Sephi and YBW0014 got together. And YBW did a great job of adding in a configuration file for SlimeTinker. Let me pull that up on the screen for you real quick. All right, so there's a new file inside of the folder for SlimeTinker called traits.yml. Every single trait has the ability to be turned on or off on the head, the rod, the plate, the links. You've got full custom ability. So by the way, now you can also see, for the first time ever in one place, all the bindings and gambesons. I'll leave those up there just for a second. Okay, so you can see again, everything in here is fully configurable. So you're not looking necessarily at the trait name for some of them. You're looking at the specific item, what it does, and then you can either turn it to true or false. So first of all, thank you, YBW. I know a lot of people are going to love this. Server owners are going to be happy and be able to configure things a lot closer to what they want in their server. So let's get back to it. All right, guys, an item that I haven't really touched on yet because I kind of thought it was relatively self-explanatory at first, but I do want to bring a new principle into the game for those of you that just kind of give up a little bit early. This is the Litexpansion's Uuu Crafter. This allows you to take UU matter that you recycled from scrap and to turn into other items that are configured within your specific server. For example, a UU pattern of all 9 might be diamonds. Whatever your server is configured to, you can take extra junk items that you don't want to use, recycle it into scrap, convert it to UU matter, and then recraft it or repurpose those items into something new. The UU matter crafting recipes do not work with the core Slimefun auto crafters, hence why we have a Uuu Crafter. Now, when you look at it, you can't tell two things. How much power does it store, if any, and how much does it use? I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you how you can find that information out for anything in Slimefun that's power related. You have something called a multimeter, which is probably the most underutilized item in the game, would be my guess. If you right-click an item that uses power, you can see how much it can potentially store. So the buffer is right there on the screen. I'm not going to tell you what it says. If you would like to figure out how much it uses, set up a power network. Now, I've yet to see a machine where the buffer is smaller than what it uses per tick. That doesn't make sense to have a buffer that can't even tick once. So my guess is the maximum power usage is the size of the buffer. So if you can set up a network, even if it's in a creative mode, and get 50,000 joules in there, and turn on a Uuu Crafter and run a recipe and watch your regulator, that will tell you how much it uses per craft. My guess is you're going to figure it out very quickly. But that will work with any power machine that can store and or generate power. Real simple trick. All right, let's keep moving. All right, these next 3 items, I have been waiting for these to be in the game for so long. This is beautiful. Who's ever played SkyGrid? Raise your hand. I want to see them high. Okay, so if you're familiar with SkyGrid, the world is set up like this. Every 4 blocks in every direction is a block. The rest is air. At y = 0, it's void. So you are parkour jumping from block to block to block to gather resources. The biggest challenge with SkyGrid is to get a big enough platform started to start working on building your base. One of the things, there's plugins out there called Builder's Wands, will allow you to place blocks right out of your inventory to start platforming. Now, some of the bases that I built in SkyGrid have literally been 1,000 blocks by 1,000 blocks, and it's taken me weeks, if not months, to clear the blocks and platform them. Well, Slimefun has got something that would render that down to hours from what I've done in the past. We're going to use a builder's wand, or a position selector and a fill wand to do the same thing as placing thousands or even millions of blocks. So both of these do need to be charged in order to use them. And the position selector is just like the world edit wand. You're going to left click at your starting position and right click on your secondary position. So we'll set the primary and we'll set the secondary, just like we were all set to issue the next world edit command. Now we're going to select the block with the fill wand that we want to use to fill the area. So we're going to shift right click the type of block we're going to use. In this case, I have stone in my inventory. I want to use stone, so we're going to shift right click on a stone block. Material is now set to stone. Now I simply right click. There's 43 stone in my inventory. Watch how many are left. There's now 22. So you do have to have the material in your inventory, and it will not replace blocks that are already in existence. It will only fill where air exists. What would happen then if I tried to fill an area bigger than the amount of materials I have in my inventory? Whoops. So let's set a new position here, and I've got one way out here. So this is clearly a lot more than 22 blocks. Again, we're going to select stone, right click. I'm short by 47 stone, I can't place it. So until I have 47 stone, I can't fill that. It's not going to place the 22. You simply need to have enough to fill that area. But to me, this is huge. This is game changing for some of the things that I do inside of SkyGrid and Worlds. Now, it's not just for SkyGrid, though. Anywhere you need to build a platform, a wall, a roof, a building, this will allow you to select in almost like you are in a creative or world edit environment, but you still have to gather the resources and materials. Now, the other one I've been so looking forward to is the sponge wand. That alone has an obvious connotation of what you can use it for. It's clearing out water and lava. So there's three areas for sure that I know I'm going to use this. One would be when I'm in either the nether or mining and I hit a large lava pocket to clear out. Two would be if I'm transforming an area and I need to clear a lake or a river. Or three, the most obvious one for me that I love, and if you've watched my channel, you know, is clearing out guardian temples. 58 wide, 58 long, and approximately 26 blocks deep of water. You could probably clear out, if you portion that into maybe, let's say, 9 sections, and I haven't tested it yet. I'm looking forward to doing it, but you could possibly do that in a matter of seconds, maybe a minute, to clear all that water out of there. It's phenomenal. So we're going to start by picking a position with the selector's wand. Position selector, let me get the right term. There's my primary. We'll set my secondary to here. Now, if I have the water cordoned off, what will happen is it won't flow back in, right? It would simply just remove the top layer. But because that's all source block, except for where the sand is, okay, now it filled back in. But can you imagine just how much water you can clear out? And this was done perfectly because you saw what should have happened. This is a great job of Thesaurus. All the water that should have filled back in did, exactly as it should have. I love this thing. I can't wait to clear out a guardian temple with this. All right, let's keep moving. A lot more to cover. All right, guys, we are jumping into Galactifun, one of the new machines that Sagan has added, called a Technological Salvager. And it does exactly what it says. It salvages technology. Now, there are two different types of relics that you can get. So there's a fallen satellite relic, and there's a broken solar panel relic. Kind of stuff that probably falls from space to the Earth all the time, at least in real life. Now, in Slimefun, they'll fall onto every planet but Earth, if I'm reading his notes correctly here. By the way, just a tip for everybody. If you currently are not on the Slimefun add-on Discord, I highly recommend that you join. In the announcements tab, there's a changelog. And every time one of the add-on devs either adds a new item, updates something, fixes an issue, they post it there. So you get to see any and all the changes to all the Slimefun add-ons, just like I do. I don't get any other insider information that isn't publicly available for everybody already. I just simply put it all in one place. So with these two different relics, and I've run a couple through, you simply put them into the salvager, and they'll start processing when one's done. Now, this isn't a quick 3 or 4 second process, and you're not going to get tons of relics that fall each time. For example, on the changelog, it says you can spawn one of one type of relic and between 0 and 2 of the other type of relic. I can't pronounce it. It's Russian backwards, I believe, and I can't even pronounce it anyways. But if you look at it, it's going to give you a little bit of clue as to potentially what one of them is. But I've run a couple through, and so far I've gotten a photovoltaic cell, some silicon, which is always great, basic circuit boards, always in demand, heavy-duty sheet, which I have not really touched into yet, space-grade plates, and an advanced processing unit. Now, again, I feel bad. I've really wanted to get in the Galactifun. I just haven't yet. But to me, that looks like some important stuff. Now, I'm going to obviously want to get that stuff out of the way so that there is empty space for when new relics come in, I can start processing and getting those materials back. Those are now in Galactifun. Good luck finding it. I'd love to hear about it. Put it in the notes in the comments how you're finding them, what you're doing with them, all the different types of items that you get. Let's keep looking into this. But let's keep up with the weekly update as well. Okay, so we are taking a quick look into Slimefun Warfare. The osmium super alloy, right? This was a super alloy. Getting Saganescent was a bit of a challenge. you no longer need Seganescent within the Super Alloys recipe. So hopefully it's actually just a little bit easier, not as difficult. You don't have to wait for Seganescent to come falling down on you on top of your meteor extractor, just like it does for me. Attractor, excuse me. All right, everybody, so we just have two quick notes to finish up upon. Sephi has been going crazy with networks, adding more items. He's added power, Uuu Crafters, and a whole bunch of other items. Done a lot of updating, changing some recipes. So I want to do a proper tutorial on all these new items and new features, the way everything's set up. So we're going to watch for that later on this week. But the other thing I'm really excited to look for, Apiros has put out a new add-on called Villager Util, which means Villager Utilities. How many of you have ever been creating a trading farm for villagers and you are making baby villagers and you get that stupid green nitwit that does nothing, right? How would you like to use a de-nitwitifier that allows that villager to actually now change types and get a job? How would you like to be able to wave a wand and cure zombie villagers? Or to transport them? So we're going to be looking more into that. Watch my tutorial, hopefully even later today. But as always, I want to thank everybody so much for all your support on the Discord and on the YouTube channel. We've hit 1,300 subs. I'm still humbled and blown away by that. And I thank everybody for their feedback, suggestions, and ideas. But as always, when you're playing Slimefun, you got to go Boomer or you got to go home, baby. We'll see you later.